There's a new aircraft order to take a look at. Play Airlines reporting solid growth, Qantas finally expanding into Europe, and updates surrounding Aer Lingus. Today's video is powered by Incogni. More on them a little bit later in today's updates. Beginning though with Qantas, who have announced the launch of direct services between Australia and Paris to come in 2024. This is in time for the 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games. After long-standing speculation, discussion and rumours, Qantas will use Perth as an origin port for the newly announced flights to Paris, France. The route will be operated by its 787 Dreamliner and fly 4 times weekly from July 12, 2024. Qantas says though that from mid-August, around a month after commencement, its services to Paris will decrease from 4 weekly towards 3. A return to Paris comes after almost 2 decades away from the city and represents a commitment to increasing the international network at the flag carrier. The airline says that fares are currently on sale if you are interested. They begin at 1,899 AUD from Perth and are available until November 2nd. Western Australia winning flights towards Paris is enormous for the state, as Qantas does say they will work diligently with Tourism WA to facilitate tourism among other opportunities that will be presented thanks to this route. Meanwhile, the launch of flights to Paris will add more than 75,000 seats per year between Australia and Europe. Perth Airport will see the flights operate out of Qantas's existing terminal, which is Terminal 3. Qantas makes note again that the upcoming Paris flights have been made possible thanks to the most recent acquisition of further 787s. Albeit these coming in incredibly late, it now means their wide-body fleet consists of 14 total units for this variant, and more will arrive in the future with a brand new commitment. Thanks to the launch of Paris flights, Qantas's presence in Europe will grow to include the following options, that being your QF9, QF10 Perth to London, QF5, QF6 Perth to Rome, the newly announced Perth to Paris, which will operate as QF33 and QF34, noting that customers can book and fly from Sydney, and then you have your flagship QF1, QF2, which is Sydney, Singapore, and London. The reality is we spend a lot of our time online, and frankly every year there are data breaches. It's happened to me, and it's probably either happened to you or someone you know. In the annual data breach report for 2022, number of victims rose by 41.5% in a 1-year period. This means your data is at risk. If you are from the US as well and watching, another big issue is the data privacy problem with people search sites. These websites are created with the purpose of stealing your data and expose you towards scams, identity theft, and online harassment, going as far as stalking. That's where Incogni steps in. Incogni ensures that your personal information stays off the market through repeated removal requests. It means that whenever there's a new record of your data that may appear, Incogni removes it and takes care of it for you, hassle-free. By creating an account, granting the right to work with you, and kicking back to, say, PlaneSpot, maybe jump on Flight Simulator or something else, you can finally have some data protection. You can get Incogni at the link on your screen, description, or the pinned comment to get an exclusive 60% off discount on Incogni. Over at Play, they've announced a USD 5.2 million profit for the third quarter of 2023, which represents some pretty solid improvements from 2022. Additionally, the company has posted several other vital results. Play recorded a net loss of USD 2.9 million for the third quarter last year, attributing a challenging climate. But now, Play has been able to significantly improve, with the turning of a profit in the third quarter reaching USD 5.2. Total revenue also increased 84% year on year. The company says revenues for that quarter reached USD 110.2 million. This was up from 59.9 for the same quarter 1 year prior. Play also recorded substantial increases across the board for its passenger numbers, representing some pretty strong growth. In the third quarter, it broke its previous record for passengers carried in 1 month. This record was smashed in July, when the airline carried 191,000 passengers with a load factor of 91.1%. Meanwhile, revenue per available seat kilometer increased 9% to 6.1 US cents. Play says its future outlook for the remainder of the year remains unchanged from its guidance released at the end of September. The outlook says Play will carry 1.5 million passengers this year. The belief also exists that Play will be able to generate some USD 280 million in total revenue for the entire calendar year at completion. We have a new aircraft order coming from SkyWest that has committed to additional Embraer jets for deployment on the United network. A deal consists of 19 Embraer E175s for deployment on the United network as aforementioned. At list price value, the deal is worth USD 1.1 billion and has been included in the backlog for Q3 at Embraer. This is a backlog that continues to grow with new commitments being reported. However, while a list price value has been outlined, customers rarely pay this total price, with hefty discounts often being handed out. In the case of SkyWest being a long-time customer with Embraer, no doubt they were able to get a fantastic deal. The pair will continue maintaining their close relationship, with delivery slated to begin in Q4 of 2024. The 70-seater aircraft will be delivered in a 3-class configuration for eventual deployment across the network. SkyWest relies heavily on Embraer jets, with 235 in-service aircraft registered across the network. SkyWest notes that the 19 units will work with the already 90 in-service jets that operate for United. The Embraer aircraft has undoubtedly had a lasting impact on the North American market. Embraer consistently notes the impact, and they're more than proud of it. Looking ahead to the next generation of planes, they want to build upon the success they've seen to their new planes and see these major US carriers commit to the next generation of fleet. Aer Lingus is the final story of the day, publishing its third quarter results, indicating a strong performance. Aer Lingus says its operating profit reached USD 207 million, which represented a 41% increase year-on-year. Capacity, meanwhile, for the short-haul network increased 14% as they continue to rebuild and grow. Meanwhile, their long-haul network saw a 15% rise. North America will see some fantastic growth in 2024, with non-stop services towards more US destinations as part of its commitment to the market. As part of this expansion, the airline will begin serving critical destinations in the United States, such as Denver, Colorado, and Minneapolis. It is the belief that these trio of destinations will add to their existing North American presence in time for the busy summer season, where demand should definitely spike. That is going to conclude today's aviation news recap. If you have absolutely any thoughts on the topics covered, whether that be at Qantas or something else in between, you're more than welcome to let me know down below in the comments. A big thank you to Incogni for sponsoring this video, and a reminder you can check out their exclusive 60% off discount down below in the pinned comment or description. Please do take care, also be safe, and stay tuned at the same time tomorrow for your latest industry developments. And we'll